The FBI probing the hack that is crippling MedStar. That's a major hospital chain. Computers still offline, and that situation is unsolved. A MedStar doctor telling Fox hackers are holding computers hostage for 3 Bitcoins each, and we're hearing hackers are now targeting other hospitals. The cybersecurity expert Paul Viollis on hackers now hitting hospitals. We know the FBI probe has been probing this. The hospital system has been crippled. It's a major chain. And, you know, here's the thing, Paul. They've already successfully shaken down some of these organizations. It's a pretty interesting business model, because if you use insurance to pay them off, it may be too much. But can this be stopped? Because this is dangerous stuff.
You know what, Charles? What you just said was so on point. I wish everybody would really listen to that. This is precisely a business model. The cybercrime business model has been pointing to the healthcare vertical market for over the last year and a half, 2 years right now. And why? Because it's got the greatest return on investment. It's where critical information is least protected and where it can yield the highest return. So you're right on point with that. In answer to your question, can it be stopped? It certainly can. But at the end of the day, Charles, like any other vertical market, with like any other business, the healthcare industry has got to begin to harden that target and stop being such a soft target with respect to how information is protected. They just simply aren't doing it.
You know, I got to tell you, Paul, I mean, over the last 5-6 years, I've spent a lot of time in hospitals, unfortunately, and it's always floored me, even the biggest hospitals in New York City, how antiquated this equipment is. And they ask the same questions over and over again as someone's carrying a clipboard, and they go from one wing of the hospital to the other, and the information can't be transferred. It's amazing. You know, we talk about how many people die in these hospitals. Is it because they don't want to make the investment? Is it all about the bottom line for them? What's the holdup?
Honestly, Charles, I have to say that I truly believe it's about the bottom line. This really is a question for boards of directors. This is a question for whether or not they are going to invest in the electronic communication security of their data. That's, at the end of the day, that's what it all is going to come down to. And I agree with you. I've had my share of hospital stays, in and out and visiting in personal whatever, and it astonishes me with respect to how one side doesn't know what the other side is doing. Now, here's the real frightening part about what we're seeing today and what we're going to see going forward. Is this just it? Is this an identity theft issue, or is it worse? Can they actually get in and manipulate data so that one side of that hospital simply can't communicate with the other? That's the thing. So at the end of the day, this is a business decision, and it's going to come down to board members saying they need to invest, make a fixed capital investment, and an investment in the security of that data. End of story.
Real quick before I let you go, though, Paul, is there a role for the federal government and federal law or local law enforcement?
Is there a role for them in this particular case, Charles?
And with these hospitals being targeted, I mean, is there something that we should, should we ask the feds to step in a little bit more? Help? Is there any role for the federal government? Is this all on these hospital corporations?
Charles, this is really all on the hospitals at this point. I mean, the government really can't do anything preemptively. They'll respond, but at the end of the day, this is on the hospitals. They have to make a conscious decision to protect our data. End of story.
Paul, thank you very much. Really appreciate the conversation.
Always. Thanks, Charles.